Sorry about that. I've been trying to go live for the last couple of days and I have not been able to. And I am finally in. Well, hello, everyone. Today we are going to be talking to you about my doctor approved my leave. Why was my short term disability denied? This is a problem a lot of people here in California are having, and probably possibly across the country. And we're going to get into it and explain to you why and what it is you can do about it and how we can help. Okay, so put my specs on. I look studious now. Okay, so every day in California, hundreds of employees take FMLA leave and enter into the system. And this system is, let me just express to you what the system is because I don't like speaking to you all very broadly. I want to make sure that you definitely are picking up what I'm putting down. And so, just to give you a visual of what the system for employees who are getting their FMLA signed, the system is all of these roads that you can possibly take. Take a quick look at that, screenshot it if you must, but it can be very confusing for people. So let me just go ahead and get into this live. My name is Glenna Davis. I am the owner, founder, CEO at Glenna's RX for Life. We are a career burnout consultancy and healthcare education agency where we specialize in workplace mental health. Okay. And I just want to come to you just to provide some solutions, answer some questions for you that you may be having as you take FMLA and have the paperwork in hand. And then everybody from psychiatry, your doctor, workers' comp, have different qualifications and you're already exhausted, right? You've already have been dealing with an astronomical amount of dealings at work and exhausted and experiencing trauma. You need a little help. So let's go ahead and get into it, okay? So every day in California, hundreds of employees take FMLA leave and then they enter into the system. Short-term disability, for the sake of this video, is a workforce and insurance system used when an employee is temporarily unable to perform the essential function of their job due to a health condition, injury, pregnancy, or functional impairment. Short-term disability is designed to partially replace income, manage workforce absence, document functional limitations, and support eventual return to work. For Black career women and registered nurses, service professionals living with job stress that's lasting longer than 6 weeks, burnout caused by the workplace. And if you were with me the other day or saw the video where I defined what burnout is getting medical diagnosis, mental illness diagnosis, having to take medication just to go to work. That is a burnout. And it's caused by the workplace discrimination, or mental distress. Your short term disability may be denied even excuse me, may be denied even after disclosure, even after you have poured your beautiful heart out and told everything that they have been doing to you because you just needed this release, and they are documenting everything, and then they still deny you. They still deny you. Why? We'll talk about that in a little while, okay? So, even after disclosure, they still deny you. They seem to be seemingly innocent in their actions with you, in their support for you. They got the right words, the right smile. They seem very concerned. But at this intake, because of why you're having these experiences and these symptoms and needing to be taken off work is because of some illegal activity that's happening to you at work or happening to you someone else that you are experiencing the impact of it, because these things, discrimination, harassment, don't happen in a vacuum. It affects the entire department at your job. So when you disclose all of this, so when you disclose all of this information that you have been experiencing at work to the short-term disability and you don't qualify for it, that intake just became a documentation conversation, a legal conversation, an employer's legal team strategy, and future employability conversation decisions around you in your absence. They talking about you behind your back. They are talking about you behind your back. So this is why you have to be careful about your intakes with short-term disability and to make sure that you're asking or you are seeking the right resource for your problem that you're experiencing. So this is where we get into how to apply the nursing process to what it is that's happening to Black career women, registered nurses who are dealing with job stress that is lasting them longer than 6 weeks and needing them to take FMLA for mental health reasons so they can rest and recover and do whatever it is that they need to do to heal and to get back to work. So, how workforce care can help you is that we do take a thorough assessment. We understand trauma and how trauma affects the nervous system and employability. Trauma causes changes in your emotional, your physical, your mental, your ethical, and your spiritual well being. We also ask you the right questions like, what changed at work before your symptoms started? We care to know what your goal and your outcome is. So you should already be sitting down with someone before you even go to fill out a short-term disability form to know what your long-term goal is and what outcome you see for yourself. We will help you make sure that that is at the forefront of what it is that you desire as an individual. Then we continue with the workforce care nurse process with a workforce care nurse diagnosis. And we go into planning, we go into intervention, we intervene with the system because sometimes the system ways are not in alignment with what your goal and what your outcome are, what your goals and your outcomes are. And when you are not in alignment with someone in the system who you may seem as, you know, the professional or the way to go or somebody to comply to without voicing what it is that you need, then their ways, when they're not in alignment with your ways, can actually contribute to our workforce, Black career women, and RNs to fall downstream, especially if your issue with taking off work had to do with workplace discrimination, job stress lasting longer than 6 weeks, trauma on the job. Then after that, we evaluate to make sure that your goals are met. And we still help you access your rights. We still help you access your benefits. You have paid into short term disability, you have paid into these systems, and you have a right to access them for your own serious health condition. So once that evaluation and goals are met, we assure that you have removed the stressor that was causing the issue to regulate the nervous system, to also heal that disease process or reverse that disease process, rest the body, and then you return to work better. If we do not address work fatigue in its early stages, the employee enters the system already exhausted, alone, unsure, vulnerable. Some may even qualify to sue. Some suffer tort in unimaginable ways without a recourse because they documented nothing. They spilled their heart out during an intake for short term disability, and they act like they've never even heard of you. So many workers across our nation just become just another public health statistic when that did not have to be the case if you had leadership before entering into the system after you have taken your FMLA leave. So the title of this live was called My FMLA Papers Are Signed. Why was my short-term disability denied? Your papers were signed because your doctor cared enough for you to hear your symptoms and take you off work so that you can, recover from whatever situation you were dealing with. Your short-term disability was denied because of language. Every insurance company have a different definition of what disability is. If you are a nurse, you can't tell them that your essential functions of your job is you can't do your essential functions of your job because your essential function of your job is the nursing process. They will write you out of your career. Okay, your essential function is not to turn patients or to lift patients who weigh more than 50 pounds. Your essential function is the nursing process. Police officers, pilots, service professionals, if you have to be very careful about the language that you use, you're not just general population workers, you are our nation's professionals, and we need you to be able to take off work, heal, address the situation, go back to work in confidence, and go back to work better without having to carry a mental illness diagnosis or injury from psychiatric medications or trying to go back to work needing an accommodation. Can you imagine your pilot needing an accommodation for a depression diagnosis? Do you remember that man, the pilot who flew the plane into a rocky mountain? Like this happens. This is what happens when we take psychiatric medication. We lose impulsivity. We do what it is that we think and without any restraints. And that's just the way the medication works, okay? Until it's regulated. And if you're going into psychiatry for workplace issues, chances are you're not depressed at all. You're being traumatized, your body is responding to it, and you don't know how to react, and you don't have a system in place to help buffet what it is that you are experiencing. This is why I encourage you to not enter the system without clarity, support, and a professional registered nurse who specializes in workforce care so that you protect and prevent disease for yourself. We specialize in workforce care and believe you should be informed, even if you decide to enter the system without our help. So if your job stress has been lasting you longer than 6 weeks, you can take our work fatigue quiz. We will help you decide or determine rather which level of work fatigue you are experiencing, whether it is moral, ethical, physical, mental, and spiritual, so that you know which direction you should take. Until next time, if you have questions or comments, please leave them below. If you want access to the work fatigue quiz, just type fatigue in the comments. Be sure to send it to someone that you know that is talking to you about job stress, talking to you about taking FMLA, talking to you about their short term disability being denied. We want to help you get on the right path. Okay? Bye.